intro, and the intro didn't go. So our countdown starts, we did the
Now.
countdown and now we're in.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Happy Friday or whatever day it is when you're catching
Oh,
this.
yeah.
We're back with another episode, another conversation of the science of getting rich for women. And we are coming to the end of this incredible book. I can't believe it already. Like, Amy, what is this?
Well, this is 16 weeks, 3 months since the launch of this new annotated, updated, woman-focused, awesome book here that you updated, and um, time flies.
Oh my gosh. Warp speed, quantum leap. I don't know about you, but I have heard a lot of women say, and I too myself has said at the beginning of this year, this is my year. And I am quantum leaping this year. And this book has literally been the catalyst for this acceleration, this momentum that has been building. Here we are. We're live. It is halfway through the year, and 6 months has already gone by. When you look back at what has unfolded so far over the last 6 months, it's mind-blowing. So much has unfolded, so much magic and miracles have been experienced, and yet we still have another half of a year to go. And so we're wrapping up this book, these chapters. Next week we have one more final episode, which will be wrapping up all of the chapters within this book. And I can't believe how much has transformed by reading, studying, and integrating the material in this book. Amy, I'm excited for this chapter because the advancing woman is really an extension of last week's episode, which was the impression of increase. I know you love the impression of increase. It's one of your favorite chapters. How do you feel about the advancing woman?
Well, I feel that if you've left the impression of increase, you're automatically advanced in that person's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing these chapters in sort of steps and building on the last one and building like onto the next one, it happens inevitably. Like the advancing woman is not only the impression or the wake behind your boat that you leave with people, when you walk out of the room, what's the energy that you've just left in that room for people to like go, whoa, what was that? Like they want to know who you are and how can I talk to that person again? And not even necessarily a business conversation, but just like that was a cool convo and I want to be in her vortex again. And I want to hang out with her and just see what we can create together.
Yeah, and it's an unspoken transference, transmission of energy. Like you said, it's felt. You walk into a room, there's some people there. One particular person has left you with an impression of increase because of her energy, because of the way she smiles, because of her body language. And you want to be around people who are advancing personalities because it's inherent in all life that we seek more life. We want to grow. We want to expand. It's our soul's incarnation intention. It is why we are here. And so when you feel that a particular personality, a particular person is someone who leaves you with an increase of life, you are immediately attracted to that person like a magnet, and you want to spend more time with them. You want to listen to them more. You want to be around them. And so last week's episode was all about being aware and conscious of this fact because it's happening all the time, whether you're conscious of it or not. And here's the thing. When you're unconscious, and you don't do it, you're not helping yourself at all. But when you begin to become aware of this fact and you're conscious of it, now you can change your behavior. You can change the way you think. You can change the way you feel. And when you change the way you behave, you change your results. So after last week's episode, we were talking about this. And even in the Money Mind, we started talking about being aware of this everywhere you go, even at the bank, the teller behind the counter, the cashier at the grocery store. Leave them with the impression of increase. Shine your light. Share your energy in such a way that people feel good in your presence. And just doing that unconsciously is going to make you an advancing woman. And that's what we're talking about today.
You got a blurb for us? I love hearing you tell a story. Tell me a story.
Yeah. So, these chapters are small, but they're potent. They are so potent. And so I always like to highlight my favorite quotes, things that really stick out to me. And then I end up pretty much highlighting everything. So he says in this book here, he talks about there is a power which never fails to present opportunity to the advancing woman who is moving in obedience to law. And he's referring to natural universal laws here. He says, God or the universe or source of all it is, whatever word you want to use, cannot help helping you. If you act in a certain way, he must do so in order to help himself. There is nothing in your circumstances or in the industrial situation that can keep you down. If you cannot get rich working for the corporation, you can get rich creating your own business. And if you begin to move in the certain way, you will certainly escape from the clutches of the corporation and get on with your own business or whatever else you wish to do. You see, nobody is keeping you down. Your employer, the corporations, the businesses that you work for, they are not keeping you down. If you desire more wealth, more prosperity, more opportunities, you've got to understand this book. You've got to integrate and implement the natural laws of the universe that he talks about in this book, and then you can have it all. You can have whatever it is you desire if you begin to act in a certain way. And he says, do not wait for an opportunity to be all that you want to be. When an opportunity to be more than what you are now is presented and you feel impelled toward it, take it. It will be the first step towards a greater opportunity. But what happens, Amy, is that most people are presented with opportunities to be more than what they currently are, and they don't act. They don't make the decision.
Well, yes, the decision-making process is one that is like it's a year-long study, maybe a lifelong study, because people are making decisions based on their paradigms. And so it's like you got this crazy person driving the bus, and you, this calm person, are sitting in the passenger seat going, I didn't realize that I allowed the crazy person to drive the bus, but they are driving the bus. And so maybe I should just take over. And we can take over for little bits. And then eventually, unless you kick the crazy person out of the bus, they're still just going to keep going, I want to drive, I want to drive, I want to drive. And the advancing woman asks the crazy person, thanks the crazy person or thanks the paradigm and says, it's okay. You can sit in the back seat. I know you're there for a reason. You're going to protect me in certain cases, and that's all cool. But I got this. I got my driver's license. I'm a full grown ass woman. I can take over the wheel, sit in the back seat. And I think until you can grasp the concept that it's a conscious decision in every second of every moment, every day, to be in control of your mind, then there is opportunity for those shadows paradigms to kind of hop in and take over. Sometimes they're there for a reason. Sometimes they're there to keep you small because they like how you are right now. And taking a leap, especially you're talking quantum leaps, that's like, what the hell's a quantum leap? And am I really ready for that? And do I want to skip a timeline and go into a parallel universe and, and be that advancing woman? Like, listen to what we're talking about here. It's nutty, right? Like, who's even had that concept opened up to them? Except, the conspiracy theorists that talk about it. But this guy's talking about it essentially from like 1912. And so you can't have a conspiracy theory for almost 200, well, whatever the math is on that. It becomes fact at that point. And so you have to actually look at life from a different perspective, the one of that there might be a universe out there, a parallel timeline where you have become this advancing woman and you are living in that mindset and you have overflowed your cup to be able to do that quantum leap into that next parallel space. So what does it look like? It exists. Your advancing woman already exists. She's already in place somewhere. You just have to raise your vibration to meet her and then step over the line and not be afraid to do so.
Yeah, if you can see it in your mind's eye, then you can realize it in physical form. But there is a process that is required to move the formless into physical form. And it's all about being in harmony with these natural universal laws. And part of that is being conscious and aware of these invisible dynamics that are at play, that are always at play, and are actually always supporting you. He says it is inherent in the constitution of the cosmos that all things shall be for her and work together for her good. And she must certainly get rich if she acts and thinks in the certain way. Everything is supporting you. Everything is guiding you. Everything is a message and a sign pointing you in the direction of your natural state of being, which is wealthy, which is rich, which is abundant. When you live unconsciously, you miss the signs. You don't see the messages, and you continue to stay on the hamster wheel of life, making the same choices and getting the same results and complaining and whining and blaming to everybody that your life sucks. Meanwhile, the whole entire universe is supporting you and is showing you the way, but you're not seeing it. So it's a really exciting time to be alive right now. I'm not sure if you're aware, but we are now living in the Great Awakening. And since 2016, there has been a mass light that's been turning on, and people are waking up. They are starting to see what's going on and understand that you can have whatever you desire. You can create your dreams in physical form when you apply consciousness to your life and live in harmony with universal laws. Nothing is keeping you down. Nobody has their thumb on you and is preventing you from your wealth and expansion but you. So when you realize that you're the only one in your own way, you can begin to make different choices. You can begin to think in a different way. And as a result, you're going to have different experiences, different opportunities, different connections are going to come into play. This is when life gets really exciting, because there was a time when I lived unconscious. I think back to those days and, oh, I love her. and I don't judge her, but I just go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad she woke up and she saw the truth, because she was a victim of her circumstances. She blamed everyone for her life and her situation, not even realizing that she always had all the power to create whatever life she wanted to create. And I'm so grateful for her now, because she did wake up and she did see the light. And now she is speaking truth to empower others. Life gets to be really fun and really exciting when you understand that you can become an advancing woman.
When you said, I believe, and I believe this for a while, that everything we need to know in life was talked about in The Wizard of Oz. I watched that movie at a very impressionable age, and I don't think I picked up you've always had the power, Dorothy, or whatever it was. You've always had the way home right there. And, it's the way they did that story. I've heard things like they're on LSD when they wrote it, whatever. Maybe you need to go on a mushroom trip to figure all this stuff out. But essentially, we all have the power. We're not actually even separated from anything. We are God in a body, universe in a body, however you want to say it. And then we just spend our whole lives arguing with the fact that we are all that in a bag of chips. We all are all that. We am, I am, you am. And so I'm not sure what the fight is all about. I think that's where, your life lessons come in. Like, at what level do you want to fight this information that so many people have used to their advantage, to gain riches, to gain love, to gain like all of this, in all the good stuff? And why are we all fighting it? Why do I have to study this book 15 times, read it 15 times before I go, why don't I just listen to the guy? So it's the paradigms that are going to jump back in, the shadows taking over the wheel. Now, if you just get rid of them, it would be great. But honestly, if you look at the Tin Man, and you look at the lion, and you look at the straw guy, the scarecrow, and you look at the lessons of, the wizard and what he's telling you, it's essentially the same story. You've got the power, do things in a certain way, and you'll follow yellow brick road right back on home, girlfriends.
Oh, I love that analogy. And it's funny because I was just in my closet yesterday looking for something, and I came across this picture of Dorothy and all the characters from The Wizard of Oz. My mother had given it to me years ago, and I never put it up on my wall. I just buried it in the closet, and I saw it yesterday, and I went, oh, you know what? I should really frame that. I should put that up. And now you're bringing this up into my awareness, and I'm thinking, there's another sign. There's another message. I should do that, because it's a great reminder that we already have everything we need inside it. We already have all the answers. You already know. You already know everything you need to know. The fact that we have these conversations is just a reminder. When I'm coaching with my clients, I know they're masters. My clients are literal masters in human physical form that are journeying this thing called life. And they already have all the answers. They already know all the answers. And I am just simply reminding them of what's already within them. And thank you, Amy, for just reminding me with that beautiful analogy of the Wizard of Oz. I'm getting that thing out of my closet as soon as we're done this conversation.
Yeah, 100%. And the quote is, you've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself. And essentially, that's what we're all here on this planet to do. We're all learning that we've got the power. And it's an interesting concept to wrap your head around, that you are infinite potential, that you are infinite power, that you can use this to experience life at its fullest on this planet. And we just spend our whole lives questioning that, because I believe, certain religions or certain cultures, you couldn't possibly be as strong or as infinite as God Almighty himself, right? And or herself. And so to think now, like, actually, we're not separated from our soul. We are that here in a physical form on our body and on the planet. And I like the analogy of water and the different states. So if you think about water bubbling into the vapors, right? It doesn't change that it's that it's O2. It's still O2. It's in a liquid form, it's in a frozen solid form, or it's in a vapor. And all of these are still water. So we are still source. We are just in a physical form, a solid form at the moment, and then being able to access the qualities of water or access the qualities of our soul. It's there. It's here. You don't have to look outside. You don't have to go anywhere else. You can actually just go, oh, maybe I'll make some steam today and turn myself in, like connect more with that side of my formation. And so the advancing woman is, maybe if you think about it in this water state, like you're in this water state, which is kind of heavy, and then you can go into steam, which is the advancing woman. And then she just permeates and penetrates the interspaces of the universe.
When you said we are infinite potential, and that is thrown around a lot, I hear that a lot. There is this feeling of, ooh, like that's powerful. That sounds
scary.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and then we deny, right? We deny our power by not embodying that truth. And you know what? I've realized it takes a lot of energy to deny the truth. You see, because we are infinite potential, because we are source God in physical form. And when we deny our power and we deny our abilities as creators to create whatever it is that we desire, it's hard. We have to put a lot of effort and force into denying the truth of who we are. When if we just sat back and went, oh, and just allowed it, things could be so much easier instead of resisting.
Yeah, what's with this resistance thing? Like, I'm not claiming that I've got all of this under control. Like, I know that my shadows take over in certain places. I know that I have paradigms that I need to work with. It'll be a lifelong process. If that's my paradigm, that it's going to take a lifelong to get rid of the paradigms, which I just noticed there. So I can say that my paradigms will be gone and make that my paradigm, that I don't have any bad negative paradigms, So I'm just on a journey with you, reading this book and wrapping my head around the concepts, because I'm relatively new to this kind of thought process and information. Some people have known it their whole lives, and I sort of was introduced to it about 10 years ago. And every time I read something, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And maybe that makes sense about why certain things are the way they are. But I'm on an ever evolving learning journey here. And I just want to talk about it more, because I think if we talk about it more, it keeps it in our vortex, and it keeps it conscious in our minds. Until I'm at the place where I can, just say, I am, and fully believe that.
Yeah. This whole idea of the advancing woman is part of, our conscious awareness. And when we are conscious of the way we think moment by moment, we can literally create different results. And we need to stop denying our worthiness, our infinite potential and power as creators to create whatever it is we desire. But, you know, we have to open our minds first and foremost to be willing to allow this wisdom in, so that we can have a different experience. But I'm telling you, this book has literally taken over my life in a good way, and I am seeing the effects, the results of thinking and acting in this certain way. These natural laws of the universe, which, I mean, I was privy to some of them, you know, we learned them in school, some of them, but learning them in this way is a total game changer. I mean, we learn about cause and effect. We learn about these things in high school, but learning to live in harmony with them, learning how to use them and leverage them in a certain way so that we can create things that we desire. This is a whole new realm. And this gets to be fun. This gets to be easy. This gets to be fun when we stop resisting and denying the truth of who we are, which is powerful, worthy, infinite creators. Then we become magicians, and we can literally create things from nothing. Yeah. From no thing, we can create things. I mean, everything is created first in the mind, right? And then it becomes a physical form. Yeah. This stuff is just is fascinating. And if you are listening to this conversation right now, you are ready. You are ready. You wouldn't be listening to this conversation if you weren't ready. So I would invite you, I would encourage you to go down this rabbit hole and see what happens when you study this material, when you integrate this knowledge into your life. Things will change. Let me tell you, things have changed so dramatically for me in just the last 6 months. I can't wait to see where I'm at December 2024.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to find the link. Maybe we'll put it in the chat later. You have on your website the ability to download the ebook version of this book, because
yes,
we want everybody to be able to have access to this converted messaging, and the ebook is amazing. And Jessica's giving it away for free so that you can have it. So we'll put it in the comments of the videos when we're done here. But what I want to say is, this book is not meant to be read once. The concepts are insane. And when you read it, you're like, what was that? And so my book is highlighted. It's got notes in it. I can look at one sentence and then spend a couple hours pondering what the hell that means. And so I highly suggest, while this book is on Amazon for like $15.99, it's not very expensive at all, to go there. And if you type in The Science of Getting Rich for Women, maybe just put Jessica's name beside that. When you search Amazon, it'll come up like right away. But the energy of hearing woman, she, her, like talking to us is a big deal. Some people don't think so, and that's cool. They can read the book and get the concept and yada yada. But I really feel that when I'm hearing or reading and my subconscious mind is absorbing the feminine side of this concept, it goes so much deeper. And so yes, we'll put the link in so you can get the free ebook version, but I suggest you get the paperback and use it as a study guide if you are even remotely interested in what we've been talking about for the last 16 weeks. And like Jessica said, next week is going to be the last one, and then we'll see where this goes. But go back, like on Jessica's YouTube channel, she's got all of the episodes that we've done, and each one is kind of talking about our experience with each of the chapters, what Jessica is talking to with her clients. They're fun conversations that sort of take this I don't know what the word is. Sometimes these conversations can be heavy, and we just want to lighten it up and make this fun. And it doesn't have to be such a chore to change your entire persona and be this advancing woman. Like, I got to change every single thing there is about me, essentially, because my results as that version were not the results that I want. So now I have to go, what does this woman look like, and step into her, and then become her, and live life, and do dishes, and go for walks, and repeat how that woman is until I get to that woman. And then when I'm at that woman, of course, there's going to be another evolution of who I am and who you are, Jessica. It's just, it's cool that we, like, transformation is you transforming you to you and saying next year, who was she?
Let it be fun. Let it be easy. That has been my motto all year long. And so this book, which was written 114 years ago, has been updated with language that speaks directly to your soul, woman's soul. And we've created a conversation that I believe is fun and delightful, and really makes this relevant again. This wisdom is timeless, and it is an exact science, and failure is impossible. So if you desire to expand your life into greater levels of wealth and prosperity, make this book your constant companion. And I guarantee you, things will begin to change in your experience, in your reality. This has been such a wonderful conversation. I can't wait to come back next week. We'll be wrapping up this season of the Science of Getting Rich for Women with the last 2 chapters, and we've combined them because they are smaller than the rest. And we're going to be having the grand finale celebration of wrapping up this book. It's been a wonderful experience, and thank you so much, Amy, for joining me. I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all for joining us today on the Science of Getting Rich for Women podcast. Your presence means the world to us.
Before you go, we have a special request. If you found today's episode enlightening, please take a moment to leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more incredible listeners like yourself.
And don't forget to share this episode with your friends and family who are ready to rise to new levels of prosperity.
Before we sign off, remember to connect with us on Facebook and get yourself a copy of The Science of Getting Rich for Women on Amazon.
As we close out today's episode, remember how powerful you are. Hold strong with faith and purpose that you do get what you want, and watch as the universe conspires to fulfill your dreams.